Burning the bridge that keeps us. I'm here and I'm feeling fearless. Exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still, hanging in the balance, not the life I want to live. I want to take it all, standing tall, fear I weighed the person you are. Oh, break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it in a sense, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.
Good morning. Good to see you guys. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chum Change. It's live recorded, and obviously, I am remote. So this is going to be a bit different. Hopefully, you guys can hear me and see me okay. I think everything's working right. I think. We're going to go with this. I have the heavens above me. This light is bright as shit, and I can't control it. So we're going to be rolling like this. But let's see who's in the chat. Good morning. Good morning. Mr. Andrew Masad in the chat. We have J-Dub. Good to see you. Leo Lustig. Alexander. Andrew Masad. Taines. What's up, buddy? Crypto McKell. Good to see you. Financial Failure. Automatic Beats. What's going on? Sarah Pools. Good morning. Good morning. Douglas. Good to see you. Miss Pocket Change as always. I miss you. Obviously, I'm not home. Dom G. I think I already said that. And the Pirate. Let's see. All right, so today we're going to talk about Sam Bankman-Fried has been convicted on all charges, which is pretty insane. So he could be facing up to over 100 years in prison, which is kind of, I mean, serves him right. It's kind of crazy. It's a lot of years, right? He's going to die there, so that's to say the least. But he hasn't been actually indicted yet, right? So he's been convicted, but not actually sentenced. So the sentencing will come in the next couple weeks, I assume, or it could take some time. I honestly don't even know. All right, let's get into today's market, and we'll see what's going on here. And then again, I might have hiccups, so we're gonna see how this goes. Bitcoin 34,392, not too bad. Ethereum's almost 1,800 bucks, 1797. We have Solana actually dropped 10%. That's crazy. 10%, 10.76. So it's at $39. Let's see, Caspa is also down, but it's still 5 cents, down 1%. Nothing crazy. XRP is at 60 cents, down 2.5%. BNB is down 1.69%, 227. All right, let's check out crypto bubbles, see if we can blow this up. Let's check out the week real quick. Everything's still pretty green on the week, actually. That's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Solana's up still 21.4. Again, guys, just think about taking profits because things can't go up forever, right? It's not just going to consistently go up and never come back down. Let's check out the day real quick. Render's down 9%. Oh, that's kind of crappy. What's that at, actually? It's still over $2, $2.20. Man, really wish I jumped on that ball as well. And yeah, kind of stinks about Solana, 10.7%, but I guess we'll have to see. A lot of people made videos. We talked about it a bit yesterday. Yeah, I mean, overall, can't really go up forever, so that's it. eHex, I have no idea what eHex is. This is a new coin. What is this? eHex? I heard a hex. Why? What is eHex? 16.5%? Weird. All right, try not to blind you guys, even though I'm going to blind myself. We have greed on the Fear and Greed Index. 65 was 72 yesterday, not too bad. I'll get to the chat in a second, guys. I don't know if you guys are saying anything. If you need anything, just at me in the chat. Again, I'm only working off 2 screens. I'm used to 4, so it's a little different. We have top 10 coins by coin market cap over on CoinGecko. We have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, XRP, USDC, Solana, Lido Staked, Ether, Cardano, and Dogecoin. I like to look at Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Shiba also 17th, 18th, and 19th. So that's that. Now let's check out Mine the ASIC, see what the most profitable miner of the day is. Let me zoom in on this a bit. Oh, that was too much. All right, we have the WinMiner K9 still on top of the charts at 133 bucks a day. Now, has anybody gotten this unit? Have they even started selling them yet? You guys let me know in the chat. 4.9 months till your payback time, basically ROII, right? Return on initial investment. No max to max. Voltage would be very happy that I said that correctly. We have the KS3 9.4 terahash at 120 bucks a day. The Ice River KS3 is $102 a day. Let's see, KS2 25 bucks, just about 24.59. The L7 9500, 9.500, right? Sorry, 9.5 gigahash. It would be the 9500. If I could speak today, that'd be nice. We have 597 on the day for that. The Jasminer X16Q is making 459. That's still pretty good. I mean, mining ETC and ZIL. Wow, actually, you know what? ETC wasn't the top coin to be mined on this. That's kind of neat. All right, let's see. KS0 Pro, $2.51 a day. And I saw that these were like, what, they're only like 450 bucks or something on Ice River. Not a bad deal, but I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about that in the chat. We have $1.63 a day on the X4Q. I also have that heat in my house right now, and the X41U is on as well. Octaspace is still the winner on those two, 68 cents a day. This is at 10 cents kilowatt hour, by the way. All right, let's get into it. So first we're going to start with Crypto World, as we typically do. More or less going over the Sam Bankman-Fried trial. This was before his conviction yesterday night, right? So they had, I guess, until 8 p.m., if I'm not mistaken, to convict him. So, yeah, the jury made a decision after they put out this video. So let's watch this. They actually talk about SafeMoon. Those executives are alleged fraud, right? Getting hit by the DOJ. So we're going to see what happens there and then go from there. So now I need to mute my mic. I'm going to unmute if I forget. Just bomb me in the chat so I know that I forgot. All right, let's get into it. Appreciate you guys. Hit that like button if you don't mind.
Today, Bitcoin briefly breaks through the $35,000 level. PayPal says it faces an SEC subpoena over its USD stablecoin, and crypto-focused attorney Zach Shapiro provides insight into the trial of SBF as jury deliberations are underway.
56, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you, buddy. $5 of ramen noodles. You're awesome.
Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Talia Kaplan. Crypto prices mixed this morning, with Bitcoin trading higher compared to yesterday, but dipped slightly after breaking through the $35,000 mark. That came after the Fed's decision yesterday to hold rates steady. Ether also traded higher today as ProShares said it's rolling out the first ETH futures ETF that allows investors to bet against the price of the cryptocurrency. Solana, however, fell more than one.
Sorry, volume's low. Hold on. That's why I had to mute my mic. I had to turn down. Okay, ready? Let's continue. She didn't miss anything. She just went over the same shit I already talked about.
1% this morning, trading at more than $40. Okay, let's talk about the top stories. PayPal revealed that it received a subpoena from the SEC regarding its dollar-backed stablecoin. Now, this comes one day after we told you the firm registered with the UK's Financial Conduct Authority as a crypto service provider. The global payments giant said in a filing with the SEC that it's cooperating with the agency's requests of the production documents, but didn't give any further details. PayPal launched its dollar-backed stablecoin in August to U.S. customers. It became available on Venmo about a month later. Next, the DOJ just charged executives of a crypto company for allegedly misappropriating millions of dollars of investor funds to buy things like luxury cars and real estate. According to the indictment unsealed yesterday, SafeMoon's founder and 2 top executives have been charged with running the alleged fraud. The government claims that the defendants lied to investors concerning whether the firm's use of locked liquidity was not accessible to them. Prosecutors allege that as SafeMoon's market cap grew to more than $8 billion, the 3 execs fraudulently diverted and misappropriated millions of dollars worth of what was supposed to be locked SafeMoon liquidity for their own personal benefit. Now, the SEC filed related civil charges against the three executives and charges related to the company's alleged unregistered sale of the SafeMoon token.
Shady shit. Is anybody here in the chat, have you guys invested into SafeMoon or anything like that? Let me know if you guys have, because honestly I didn't, but I have had people ask me about it, and I just said it sounded shady, but I never really dug into it to know anything about it. So let me know if you guys has purchased any of that or held any of it. I'd be interested to know. Mr. Max Voltage, what's up, buddy?
Last, let's check in on the trial of Sam Bankman-Fried. Today we heard the last of the closing arguments from both sides. The defense made its case that the government depicted SBF as a villain and argued prosecutors didn't show that he acted with criminal intent. SBF's legal team also addressed his tendency to talk publicly, saying he would talk to just about everyone and that it was messy, but not a crime. The defense pointed a finger at co-conspirators Caroline Ellison, Nishad Singh, and Gary Wong, claiming that if they truly believed something nefarious was happening, they could have resigned, left the Bahamas, or alerted authorities.
That guy creeps me out, dude. He walks way too straight. Do you guys see it? Look how straight he walks. It's crazy.
Nefarious was happening, they could have resigned, left the Bahamas, or alerted authorities. Ultimately, the defense's main argument was this: FTX was the victim of a poor system, weak risk management, and bad business decisions, but those are not crimes. The prosecutors, though, got one more chance to refute those claims, saying that the lack of risk management was a strategy, not a defense. They told the jury not to fall for it. In the midst of closing arguments, SBF got emotional and was holding back tears. So now, the jury is kicking off deliberations considering each of the 7 charges. Those include wire fraud and conspiracy to commit money laundering. The jury could remain in deliberations until 8:15 Eastern tonight. There's no way to know how quickly they'll reach a decision, and with no court on Friday, we could see deliberations continue into next week. Make sure you stay up to date on the latest in the trial over at cnbc.com.
As we know, he was convicted late last night, so I think it took them 4 hours to come to their decision, and we'll watch a video on that in a second.
All right, for our main story, I spoke with crypto-focused attorney Zach Shapiro for insight into the trial of Sam Bankman-Fried as jury deliberations are now underway. He weighs in on the explosive testimony during the trial, the mountain of evidence, and the impact both factors will have on the jury as they weigh the case. Closing arguments in the trial of SBF kicked off yesterday. That's when prosecutors reminded the jurors of the mountain of evidence provided by key witnesses. Assistant U.S. Attorney Nicholas Roos said that the main thing the jury has to decide is whether SBF knew that taking money was wrong. He told the jury that Bankman-Fried, quote, schemed and lied to get money, which he spent. Meantime, SBF's lawyers accused the government of portraying him as a, quote, monster. The defense argued that SBF acted in good faith and that bad risk management is not a crime. They stressed that the case is not a movie and that SBF is not a villain. What do you think about the statements made during closing arguments, and how could they sway the jury?
Sure. So I think it's not surprising, the themes that we saw in closing statements, because from the beginning, this trial has all been about Sam's mental state, right? Did he intend to do something wrong? Ultimately, this is a fraud trial, and one of the elements of fraud is that you had to intend to mislead someone for your own benefit and to their detriment here. And so the government story is that Sam lied to a bunch of different people. He lied to investors whose funds he misappropriated. He lied to people who invested in FTX, the equity, about whether the company was profitable. He misled customers by taking their funds against his own terms of service. And Sam's defense is the opposite, is that he acted in good faith, right? He made mistakes. He was a young and inexperienced entrepreneur. He had bad risk management, but that he did not intend to defraud anyone, be those FTX customers or investors in the company. And so a lot of the evidence so far has been about establishing what did Sam know, when did he know it, and did he act with the knowledge or the intent to mislead people.
Now, during the trial, we heard from former FTX and Alameda executives, including Caroline Ellison. When she took the stand, she said that she did, in fact, commit financial crimes when running Alameda, adding that SBF directed her to commit those crimes. She also said that she, alongside other executives, thought of ways to make balance sheets look better. So is testimony like that the most important factor for the jury as they head into deliberations?
Yeah, I think there are two sort of key parts of what the jury will be looking at. There were expert witnesses in this case who opined on accounting methods, on the cryptocurrency markets, who laid some background. I don't think that's going to be what's important. I think the two things the jury is likely to be focused on is first, the direct testimony by the government witnesses, which were Sam's co-founders, Caroline, Gary Wang, and Nishad. And they all said that Sam Bankman-Fried knew what he was doing, that he directed FTX funds to be used by Alameda. And I think that's going to be fairly damning evidence for Sam Bankman-Fried, whose main defenses are that, there was a wall between FTX and Alameda. He didn't know it was happening at Alameda. He didn't intend to defraud customers, and he didn't knowingly mislead anyone. I think the other big factor here is going to be Sam's own testimony, both the direct testimony, where he made a lot of claims about what he did or did not know, and then the, at least in my view, very damaging cross-examination by Assistant U.S. Attorney Danielle Sassoon, who seemingly caught Sam in a number of contradictions and showed that there's pretty good evidence that he knew what he was doing when he sent billions of dollars of FTX customer funds to Alameda, which then more or less gambled them away.
Expanding on that, SBF testified that he relied on the advice of the firm's in-house and outside counsel to make business decisions, including making loans to himself and deleting signal messages. What do you make of his argument that the attorneys were mostly responsible for the problems at the companies he founded?
Yeah, this was sort of a bizarre defense the whole time. So there is a classic defense in criminal cases called advice of counsel. When you use an actual advice of counsel defense, what you say is, I told my attorney before I took some act what I was going to do. I gave them all of the relevant facts. They opined and said this was legal. And then I followed their advice. And therefore, that goes to my mind state as to whether I committed a crime or not. When you make that defense, the downside is that you have to waive attorney-client privilege. And the government can introduce into evidence all sorts of stuff that would otherwise not be available for the jury to see because of attorney-client privilege. That's not what Sam was doing here. He was doing this sort of hybrid, halfway, presence of counsel rather than advice of counsel defense. And, that's one of the two arguments Sam made, other than this sort of separation between FTX and Alameda. I don't think that that's going to be very persuasive to the jury, given that the lawyers almost certainly didn't know all of what was going on. And although they might have drafted some of the contracts that Sam used to use FTX funds at Alameda, they didn't know all of the context. They didn't know, that funds were being misappropriated. And so I just don't think at the end of the day, that's going to be a super powerful defense.
I spoke with a former federal prosecutor yesterday and asked about the apparent strategy from SBF to respond to prosecutors' questioning with, I don't recall, more than 100 times. I'm curious to get your take on that tactic. How could that impact his case and his credibility with the jurors?
Yeah, I think Sam was between a rock and a hard place here, right? He had very capable prosecutors cross-examining him.
Now he's going to be between, cock and a hard place in jail.
If they're able to pin him down on certain statements, that would be on the record for juries to look at while they're deliberating in the jury room. And that could be incredibly damaging to Sam. I think saying, I don't recall again and again may not sound credible. That might hurt his credibility with the jury, and that might hurt him. But if you're his lawyers, you have to balance that against the risk of making concrete statements that, he himself would have contradicted elsewhere within the jury's earshot.
That makes sense. Now, I spoke with you just as the
I had to say it. I'm sorry.
trial of Bankman-Fried was kicking off. But now that it has been a few weeks and it's coming to a close, did anything stand out to you during the trial?
Yeah, I think one of the things that stood out was how emotional this was for a lot of the parties here. I think Caroline Ellison's testimony was very powerful. The ways that she seems to have felt betrayed by Sam. There was a lot of their personal relationship, unfortunately, that was aired as part of this ordeal. And then even Sam's own testimony, right? I think at the end of the trial, during closing statements, he was looking quite emotional. And in terms of the themes of the trial, in terms of the likely outcome, I think much remains the same from when we first spoke at the outset of the trial. But what surprised me was how human this was, right? For a story about cryptocurrency and numbers and accounting. This is also very much a story about people and betrayal and personal relationships.
Before I let you go quickly, how long do you expect jury deliberations will last in this case, given the mountain of evidence and that testimony from those in SBF's inner circle?
It's hard to say, although I think one thing about jury deliberations is it will be a sign about the outcome of this case how quickly the jury comes back. I think if we get a very quick verdict, that's probably bad news for Sam, right? I think that is likely a sign that whatever else the jurors saw, they saw a lot of evidence that he did commit fraud. If we, on the other hand, have a really long, weeks and weeks long jury deliberation, that might be a sign that there is one of the jurors who is not persuaded, and we might be more likely to have something like a hung jury, and that would probably be good news for Sam. So I think anywhere between days and weeks is likely, and the more it is like days, probably the better for the prosecution. The more it is like weeks or longer, the better for the defense.
Okay, one last thing before we go. MicroStrategy's Michael Saylor was on Squawk on the Street this morning, where he weighed in on the potential of an approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF and why he thinks investing in his company could be a good alternative.
It's going to accelerate adoption, and it's also going to accelerate institutional awareness and education efforts of Wall Street to teach the 99% of the investors that don't know about Bitcoin what it's all about. MicroStrategy is a differentiated offering. I think spot Bitcoin ETF is a great thing for investors, but we don't charge a fee. We use intelligent leverage, and we can generate a tax-deferred Bitcoin premium for our investors.
Okay, that's all for Crypto World today, but we'll be back again.
Thanks, Rondi, for showing up to my stream. It only took me to come to your house for you to show up. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. All right, let's see. I guess Chlor's up 18.5%. Is that what somebody just said? I gotta look up Chlor before we get to the next thing. Chlor, let's see. Is it up 18.5%? Look at that. It is up 18.9. Holy shit. 2 cents. 2.7. Nice, dude. Whoever's into this, good for you. That's awesome. Let's see. Max. Overall chart from July 2023. You know what? This that's a decently confident chart, if I do say so myself. It's pretty interesting. Nice. Nice, nice. Well, congrats to anybody that's in on that. Hopefully you guys made some money. That's the whole point of this, right? All right, let's get into this. This is going to be the last 6-minute clip. So again, Sam Bankman-Fried has been he's been charged with everything, right? Guilty on all charges, 7 accounts. He hasn't been indicted yet, which is well, is that the right word? Am I using the right word? He hasn't been actually sentenced, basically, right? So you don't know how much he's going to be getting, but he can get up to a maximum of 20 years, I believe, for each count. So he should be in jail for the rest of his life unless he paid off the right people, and it's very possible, or quite possible, that he might have. So we'll have to see. But anyways, let's get into this, guys. Hit that like button. Appreciate you for hanging out. Let's see what they got to say over here.
Just before our show tonight, we got some breaking news out of another Manhattan courtroom. A jury found former cryptocurrency mogul Sam Bankman-Fried guilty on all 7 counts against him. Prosecutors allege the 31-year-old founder of the FTX exchange used the company as basically a personal piggy bank and built a, quote, pyramid of deceit. Last year, of course, FTX collapsed and Bankman-Fried was charged with stealing tens of billions of dollars from his customers. After a month-long trial, the jury deliberated for just 4.5 hours before convicting him on charges of fraud and conspiracy. Bankman-Fried now faces more than 100 years in prison. He's also facing another trial on charges including bribing foreign officials, which is scheduled to begin in March. Stephanie Rules, the host of the...
Rondi. And also, I forgot Little Time Mining actually did do a super chat. Thank you so much for that. And Rondi, what are you doing? Super chat me $50, bro. I'm in your basement. Where the hell is my mouse? God damn it. I'm in your basement. I'm in your basement. Don't give me your money. What is wrong with you? Thank you. Appreciate that. But he said, thanks for all. Let me read exactly what he said. Shout out to CCXD for using a shitty webcam over my Sony ZV-1. Yes, I am using my webcam. It's not that bad. It's the light. The light sucks, all right? God damn it. I'm going to get you a ring light. That's what you need. Anyways, yeah, 4.5 hours to convict him. Obviously, they saw right through Sam Bankman-Fried's bullshit. Just saying. All right, let's go. Yeah, Rondi should walk down here. Bring your Lambo down. Actually, he bought my son. I show up and he gives me 2 toys, one for my daughter, one for my son. He gives my son a little Bugatti. It's like the coolest little car I've ever seen. I was like, dude, you didn't have to do that. Crazy. All right, let's finish this and then we'll continue. It's not gonna play. God damn it.
11th Hour on MSNBC, as well as MSNBC senior business analyst, and she joins me now. I gotta say, for a relatively complicated fraud, white-collar case where you're looking at numbers and books, 4.5 hours on every count is wow.
This is stunning that it was so quick, and it speaks to the fact that the government rolled up. They took his closest confidants, his ex-girlfriend who worked for him, the top lieutenants in his company. They all cooperated with the government, and they turned on him. And what was stunning was in the last week that Sam Bankman-Fried, who, is not necessarily the best communicator, doesn't present well, chose to take the stand. And what did the prosecution do? Hit him right between the eyes and showed up with receipts. They used his own words and his own lieutenant's proof and said, no, sir, this is what you did. And that's sort of what people are saying. Right. This almost has the ghosts of Trump. Right? When you think about all the people that the government is rolling up against Trump right now, and could they...
All right, my boy Rondi showed up to say hello to everybody.
Just want to say hi to the shitty camera. And,
Look at this sweet Red Panda shirt. Red Panda Mining.
Red Panda.
Dope shirt. Yeah, I got to go to breakfast with this fool in this thing.
I had yours, but I was repping Red Panda today.
It's totally fine. All right, sorry guys, let's continue and then we'll chat up a little bit. No, you're good, bro. You're good. Every time I pause this, though, it stops playing.
Turn to him and say, no, sir, these are your words.
Right.
These are the documents. And so the prosecution showed up with the receipts, and boom, in 4 hours, guilty on everything. That's stunning.
Yeah, and I think part of it, there's two things here, right? One is the hubris of testifying for yourself, which usually you don't do that, but this sort of idea of, I can talk my way out of this, which I think...
But that's how he's always seen himself.
Yes, and he's even through this whole thing, he's been talking to reporters, he's been giving interviews, like, bro...
Okay, during this, he was taking phone calls from me months and months ago, right? I obviously wanted an interview. I would talk to this man on the phone thinking, I can't believe this. Right. But he has always felt like this business, this corporate world, I know better, which is the same thing he felt about politics and every other vertical. He viewed people over the age of 40, you and me, useless.
Well, I imagine there were some on the jury. Part of the thing, too, about this case, as surprising as it is for a sort of complex case like this, again, it's not that complex, but to come down so quickly, is that the core of the crime was not complex, right?
Okay, you just hit everything. Because people from the outside are like, oh, crypto, I don't get it. No, this isn't about crypto. No. Right? It's about stealing.
Yoink.
It is about saying, uh-oh, I'm losing money over here. I got all these customer funds over here.
Got deposits
I'm going to move A and stick it over to B. Right?
Ding, ding, ding. You have just
fraud
explained the crime.
Right? Sam Bankman-Fried right there. Right? This isn't about how crypto works and the market went up and a margin call. Right.
Yes. If your banker... had a problem with sports gambling.
Yes.
And was out to the mob and then just decided, well, there's a few $1,000s sitting in your account. Maybe he could pay off the guy. Gambling banks, we all understand, absolutely can't do that. That's essentially the government's case against him.
I'm going to defend him for one moment. Yeah. One of the reasons he did believe his own hype is everyone else did.
Dude.
Okay? The biggest names in finance.
You remember that Super Bowl?
It was
It's the most insane thing I've ever seen.
It was the FTX Super Bowl. And I don't just mean Tom Brady and Giselle. Right. You had some of the biggest investors, the most sophisticated investors on Wall Street that could pay huge fees investing in this guy. Right? Last year, it was just a year ago plus a few weeks, he spoke at a huge finance conference in New York. Everybody rolled up there wearing suits. That guy showed up in his Dungeons and Dragons look with the hair, and the place worshipped the ground he walked on. So he believed his own hype, but so did everyone else, and we shouldn't forget that.
I actually, in defense of the Dungeons and Dragons look, I respect.
That lady just shit on him so hard. She's like, the Dungeons and Dragons look with that hair. Dude, she is just roasting him. That's brutal.
A man that shows up like that to the thing. But he has now, it's really wild. Talk about whatever. It's a sort of almost a cliche to talk about a meteoric rise and fall, which is a thing that we do in our line of work. But wow, meteoric rise and fall. The guy went from some random trader that no one had heard of to one of the richest people in the world and maybe worth $30 billion at his peak.
Correct.
To now looking at 100 years in federal prison. And that whole thing happened over the course of 4 or 5 years?
And thought he was going to change the world and change the world. The world operated, changed politics.
He was intervening in Democratic primaries all over the place. He was giving Mitch McConnell money.
Okay, but right there. So you're going to see in some media right now people saying, don't forget Sam Bankman-Fried deeply tied to the Democratic Party and Republicans.
Yes.
Right?
He was playing
You,
both sides of the
right?
scale.
You interviewed Michael Lewis, who just wrote a massive book on Sam Bankman-Fried a few weeks ago. And Michael Lewis was with Sam as Sam was headed to Washington for dinner with Mitch McConnell, according to Michael's book, where he was going to potentially help Mitch. According to Michael, he was discussing how much money would Sam have to pay Trump to not run
yes.
again.
He had a scheme to pay.
I remember Michael wrote the book saying this is a letter to the jury. They'll decide. Well, guess what?
I don't know.
They decided.
I don't know if they read the book, Stephanie Rule.
But they decided.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Shout out to MSNBC for that. So I just asked my boy Rondi. Oh, is Hawk still in the chat? Actually, is Hawk here? We gotta call him out real quick. Is he here? Where is he? Mr. Hawk Crypto Mining, sir. You here? Tell me you're here. I know you're here. Don't lie to me. Where are you? What? You can't do it on mine either? What? Nah. All right, Mr. Hawk. I just asked Rondi to clip that section, the rock in a hard place, that I said during the stream, right, for the end of the year thing, and he said that I can't clip anything on Hawk's channel anymore. I must have shut it off, but he just said that he can't clip it on mine either. Were you able to do it? No, it's not. It's not there anymore? No. Weird. Okay, I thought you might have shut it off. I was gonna say you probably shut it off because I trolled him with that video, but I don't. I don't even know if you can disable it. I didn't know you could. So now I gotta find out why mine's disabled. Is mine disabled? Does anybody know? Can you clip my videos? Anybody? Yeah, you shut it off. You can? I didn't know you could do that. How did I shut it off? Did like YouTube do it on like by themselves? Or is it like in the customization? How do you do it? You can enable clips? Oh shit. Well, that's dumb. How do you fix that? Where is it? In my settings? I'm gonna have to go in my settings then. That's stupid. That's really stupid. All right. Well, never mind, Hawk. I apologize. I was gonna give you shit for shutting it off. Clearly mine's off too. Well, it looks like we're both dickheads. God damn it. All right, fine. Fine. Did you show me? You probably did. We probably shut it off because we were both bitter one day and then we just never turned it back on. Now I gotta go look because now I want to turn it back on because the end of the year clips are always the best. They're always the best, and I gotta put them all together as always. But guys, that's it. I gotta go get some breakfast to my man Rondi. Gotta go support the Red Panda show. I'm gonna tell everybody he's Red Panda. If anyone asks, this guy's got a YouTube channel. Shut up, guys. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. Rondi, thank you for letting me stay here, as always. I'm gonna be heading out today to go pick up my man, Geek of All Trades. Me and him are gonna go live at some point, I'm sure, later on this evening. So that's gonna be the plan, I would say, right? So, Mr. Goat, let me know when you land. Give me a update, I guess. Shoot me a message. Let me know what your plane schedule is, and I'm gonna try to be there and pick you up. And yeah, I'm sorry I can't tell you guys what it's all about, but it's gonna be like as of right now, it's a secret meeting, and then I will let you guys know after this thing's concluded on the end of the weekend or Sunday or whatever. But all right, guys, have a good day. Appreciate you all for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one, possibly tomorrow morning. Peace out. I just gotta figure out how to get out of here. See ya.